Hey fellas, outdoors business. You know, there's a lot of people who grew up in the outdoors. They either grew up hunting, grew up fishing, they grew up, maybe you grew up on the ocean, maybe you grew up sailing, maybe you grew up hiking, camping, bushcraft, wilderness survival. Maybe you grew up skiing, mountain biking. You have a love of the outdoors, and you're like, you know, you're going through life and you're working a job and you're like, man, is there any way? It's got to be a better way. Is there any way I could take this thing that I absolutely love and turn it into a business? And that's what I want to do with this playlist called Outdoors Business or Outdoors Business Ideas. It's a business model that is somehow centered around the outdoors industry. You know, for me, I've been fishing all my life. Did some camping as a kid, but really it was fishing. You know, I had another YouTube channel, it's still up, called Greenhorn Gardening, where I did a lot of gardening and stuff. And with Greenhorn Gardening, I learned a lot about shooting and video and really with podcasts. That was what that was. It was just really a podcast. The podcast is not up anymore because I'm not hosting the files anywhere. And I tried that. It didn't quite work out as a business. And I really started fishing, and I started making my own floats, and people started buying those floats, and I started making other designs and people started buying them, and now people are buying my reels here and things like that. And then, you know, a couple of months ago, I quit my day job to do this full time. Probably heard in recent years about personality types and personality preferences and Myers-Briggs this and DISC assessment that. And we're not just machines in a cog. That's what everybody's taught, but that's really, quite frankly, it's a lie. I'm going to be honest with you. We're all individuals. We are all unique. Nobody in the world has my thumbprint or my iris print or things like that. We're all fearfully and wonderfully made, for those of you who are faith understand what I'm talking about, right? I was custom crafted to do a specific task for a much greater purpose. That guides everything I do. Now, my personality type is what you call INFP. Have you ever seen Star Wars, Luke Skywalker? He's an INFP. Saint Mary in the Bible, she was very likely an INFP because it's always talking about how she was treasuring things in her heart. I'm a very contemplative person. You know, I'm a very reclusive kind of person. People think, oh, you might be a good guy to hang out with and talk. No, I could probably hardly have a conversation with you. That's why I'm talking to the camera. I'm a writer in heart. My writing is how I communicate most effectively with the outside world. And the video is just another type of writing. And so it's just another tool, like a pen and paper or my saxophone that I used to play, whatever. First of all, it's the rarest personality type in the world. And second of all, it's exactly the opposite of what's considered acceptable in corporate America. They don't want INFPs, they want ESTJs, but that's a whole other thing. So I just don't fit in a traditional working environment everywhere. So I left, and I'm actually doing something that I'm meant to do. If you haven't taken the Myers-Briggs type indicator or the DISC profiles or any of these sort of personality things, you need to go do that, because on a strategic level, right, you're gonna have to understand when you're running your own business, nobody's gonna tell you what to do. You're the one in command, you're the one in authority. Well, really, you know, I'm a man of faith. God's the one who's really in charge, not me. But I am responsible for what the tasks he's given me to do. And I can't do that unless I'm in the proper environment. I'm a strategic thinker, and I try to design systems, like you've seen with my fishing, that are gonna go do all the work for me, and then I can go design more systems. I would never be good at just face-to-face sales. You know, if you ever notice that a lot of my sales messaging on the forum, on the YouTube it's not all that salesy. It's just, hey, if you're interested, go check it out. It's on the channel. Hey, I put some stinking boat builders epoxy on it. An INFP is good at is telling stories. So that's why you're always hearing me tell stories. You know, hey, here's how the Wright brothers did that. Well, that's part of, right? that you're telling a story. Well, stories are some of the greatest ways to communicate in the world, right? You tell a story. People, when you say, hey, I got a quick story for you, people sort of, oh, you know, they're willing to listen to you. If you're just giving a lecture and quoting numbers, people are like, whatever, man, you know, bullet points and lists. People don't care about that. Tell them a story, they're just riveted, right? Even if I don't catch a single fish, tell a story. That's a story. This is a story of the fishing trip where I didn't catch a single fish. You know, a lot of fishing YouTube channels think it's about fishing, and it isn't. You know, it's about telling stories. It's about telling the story of you doing all these fishing sorts of things, which I don't even have to be on the river to do that. Right? I can just, you know, here's the story of me building this motor that eventually gets blown up. How many of you remember that from last year, right? You're still here and you're still watching my videos. So when you are thinking, one of the most important things you need to consider when thinking about an outdoors business is, where do I fit along that spectrum? Because the truth be told is not everybody is really fit to run their own business. Sometimes it may be better for some people to just go get a job in the Walmart in the sporting goods section, or just go get a job at the Bass Pro Shops. And there's a broad spectrum of business models, everything from the old school, go open a brick and mortar store, and to what I'm doing, which is everything's technology, everything's online, doing everything online. I'm importing stuff from China. I don't even talk to the people I'm importing stuff with. I'm making stuff and inventing things on my own and selling them. I'm teaching classes online, things like that. So you need to educate yourself on the possibilities. You need to go buy some business books and start reading them. In fact, if you're gonna do taxes and stuff for the IRS, you need to prove that you're serious about the business, which means you need to go buy business books and say, hey, look, I bought this business book, or hey, I bought these 3 or 4, and I'll probably do a book list in one of these videos coming up. Probably the most important thing, you need to learn how to learn. You need to learn how to love learning. One of the things I've seen with people who they're in love with the fantasy of having their own business, but they've never really developed a true love of learning, and they don't read, they don't experiment, they don't try things, they don't do the things that are necessary to equip and help themselves to grow and learn and do the things that need to be done. You know, for me, although I'm a creative person, I'm horrible at administrative things. But because I'm a creative person and a strategic thinker, I can sort of design systems that make sure those administrative things get done. If you can learn, and you love learning, and you know how to learn, it doesn't really matter if you hate doing it, because you have the discipline, the knowledge, and the passion to go make it happen. You got to learn to love learning. If you don't have that love of learning, don't start your own business, please. You're just gonna, I believe it's gonna take a season in your life where you need to learn to love learning. And I don't mean learning about business, learning about the Wright brothers. You're learning about anything, submarines, I don't care. Learning about, whatever, how to build motors. You think I could have built, I'm not a mechanic, but yet I'm somehow can build mud motors. I can build boats, build mud motors, build these. Why? Because I love learning. Is what type of thinker are you? Now, to put this in military terms, for those of you who've served, you have strategic warfare, you have tactical warfare, and then you have sort of the logistics. Had an old rifle commander said to me once, he says, amateurs study tactics, professionals study logistics, Strategic is the underlying, overarching, all-encompassing reason why you're doing something, right? So if the president gets on the TV and says, we're gonna go and attack the Ukrabad people because they killed our ambassador, well, that's the reason why we're attacking them. They killed our ambassador, which is considered as an act of war against the United States, and therefore we're gonna go attack them. Not because we wanna go to war, but because dadgummit, if we just let them, if we don't do anything, they're just going to come try to kill all of us. And I'm speaking hypothetically now. I'm not trying to make this political. If you think you've got me pegged politically, you probably don't. Now the tactics are, well, how you going to do it? All right. Okay. How are we going to attack them? Are we going to drop a nuke on them? Are we going to fuel up the B-52s and drop bombs on them? Are we going to send over some F-16s and drop some old dumb iron bombs on them? We're going to go precision attack. We're going to send over drones. We're going to send in the troops. We need to use the Marines. We're going to send over the F-35. We need the F-22 set a battle cap? Do we need to, how are we going to do this? Are we going to go total war on this? Or are we just going to go in there quick 30 days, drop a bunch of bombs and leave, say, have a nice day? Or are we going to just commit, we're going to put the entire country on a war footing and fight them like we were fighting Hitler? Those are the tactical things that have to take in place. You have to let the commanders to develop the tactics based on what the commander-in-chief says. Now the thing is, if you're running your own business, you're the commander-in-chief of the business. Now you know me being a theist, being a Christian, whatever you want to call, a follower of Jesus, whatever. He's the real true commander-in-chief, and I'm just sort of a steward, if you will, a manager or a captain or whatever you want to call it. Still, I'm responsible, and I do have to have a strategic mindset. Some people naturally think strategically because of their personality types and the type of person they are, and that's where they excel. Like me, some people, they just don't think that way. They're doers. They just do. They just go do, and they're tactical. They're just gonna do. As long as you're doing, then it's good. But it's all for naught if you don't have the logistics in place. I read a book by Winston Churchill called A River War. And the same Army Rifle commander had read it when he was in college and written papers on it and stuff. And that whole book can be summed up in, this is the logistics of fighting in a war in a geographically tough location. Because you've probably heard of the Sudan in recent years. You got to get beans, bullets, toilet paper, blankets to the war fighter so they can fight the war. Well, if I don't have a way to get the wood, get the epoxy, actually package it up and mail it, then I can't do what I'm doing. If I don't have a camera and a microphone and a computer and software and a delivery system like YouTube to deliver the content, I'm dead out of the water. Now, the good thing is that you may be a logistical thinker where you can really, you're good at administration, you can count the beans, The point is, you're gonna have to fold the business model sort of around you. That's the point. And most people have never been in a situation where they can completely take everything they're doing and mold it around sort of themselves as to what they're doing and what they're good at. Most people are just used to fitting inside a prescribed system. And once you get outside that system, they're just like, they don't know what to do. They're a fish out of water because they've not had that conditioning. I know a fella named Dan Miller. He's like was like a Mennonite, and he sells lots of books. He has his own farm and stuff where in part of that farm, he just converted the barn into like a book warehouse where he sells a lot of his own books, and he buys these books by the truckloads and sells them. And he obviously has some logistical talent to be able to do that, and maybe that's what you can do. Or maybe you can say, man, I can do the tactical, man. I got the shades, I got the AR-15, man. I can go tactical on this. Or you might, man, I'm the, you're master killer. You're gonna think strategically on this stuff. You're just gonna go strategic on this. You can just sit back and be the mastermind, and then just sort of let the tactical and logistics take care of themselves. You just have to figure out where you fit in and mold the business around that. All right, so if you're interested in more videos like this or interested in more content like this, be sure to subscribe not only here to the YouTube channel, but go over to the website and sign up for a thing that I have that'll give you 5 reasons to start your own outdoors business. And that way you can learn, that way you can start that process of learning these things and get on that road. I can't guarantee you what's going to be best for you, but I can share with you what I've learned, and I can pass that on. And if you're interested in that, just check that out over on the website, and I'll talk to you guys later.